Welcome everyone, Sir Heroscape here today, coming at you with update number 39. We are almost midweek here, and yes, I am in my bathrobe. It's a late night, you caught me in my bathrobe. The update came a little bit later tonight, and it was while we were out at soccer, so getting the kids down and whatnot, and then I just wanted to get out of my work clothes, so got comfortable in my bathrobe. So anyway, the update today is just another one of our cool frost claws. So we'll get into that in just a second, but we do have a few other updates on just general information. First off, that image yesterday with the 4 figures, someone on the YouTube channel confirmed that that's actually a 4-man squad. So I'm not really sure why the other picture only showed 3, but it was confirmed that unique squad is a squad of 4. So I had thought that there was a hero on that. Today we're getting the hero, but it's a 4-man squad. A couple other things. Ordo, which showed up the other time, someone said is referring to the order, right? Kind of like what I was saying. That's not, well, it's not the species, but it is referring to more like the warrior class. And then Urson is actually the species of these guys, and that was confirmed on the Discord as well. So Urson is the species, Ordo is like the warrior class or order. And yeah, so those are updates from yesterday. We've got some more updates today after we go through the design, so I'll cover those as well. So yeah, let's jump into it. Better to fight for something than to live for nothing. Extreme ferocity masked behind the calm discipline required to survive another day. Knight Primus Alfburn exemplifies the very training he taught within the Ordo of the Frostclaws. As the very first member of the Frostclaw Paladins to rise to the rank of Knight Primus, Alfburn has displayed his mastery of melee combat on countless battlefields across both Noxdorma and now Valhalla, pulverizing enemies of the Clockwork Combine with his Power Maul. That's cool. Knight Primus Alfburn plows through ranks of combatants almost effortlessly, focusing his primal strength and resolve on targeted leaders of the enemy forces while smashing aside any would-be defenders foolish enough to stand in his path of destruction. Pretty cool. And here we have him. Real quick, this is the concept art, but, we already have a miniature, so not going to spend any time on that. But yeah, this is the 3D rendering, which looks pretty dope. Like I've said before, I'm really impressed with the Heroscape-y look of these miniatures. Again, the concept art can sometimes feel a little over-designed, but this just, absolutely feels Heroscape. I really like the smooth, simple design, but it still comes through with what they're going for, so I really like it. The Power Maul, I honestly have no idea what this thing is. I think it's literally just a club, like a metal club. I mean, there's little kind of gem spikes there on the edges, but I don't see really a point or a blade, so I really think this is just kind of a massive club. Now it says Power Maul, so that would indicate there's some sort of, like charge or mechanized, attack or special attack. I'm not really sure what that would be. I really can't tell. So shout out to you guys and to give some thoughts. One thing I thought was kind of a cool detail is that's a bear claw, right? Like a symbol or logo there, or a coat of arms, which I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, these look like kind of bedazzling gems on the armor, so those look like gems more than they do blades. Anyway, so not really sure exactly what that weapon is, I'll be honest. But, cool design. I think the design, when it says referencing, focusing his resolve on targeted leaders, I think that's going to be just pretty simple. I think it'll just be unique heroes. So he probably, he might have some sort of ability to clear out squads, like maybe a D20 roll to get past squads or something to get to the heroes. But once he gets to heroes, I bet it's some sort of, multiple insta-skulls or extra attack dice against unique heroes is I think what it's going to be. So pretty straightforward design. Nothing crazy there. We've got a Jandar Frostclaw hero to go with the squad now. Now for updates. Something that came over in the discussion on Discord was Leafit said, how are Morrow escaping their hive mind? I'm not exactly sure where that question came from. I think it was just kind of random. But and Carmine said it's a long story buried deep in the reveals to be told another day. So I do think that's in reference to that pirate we saw. And in fact, this is was also revealed today. This is that Morrow Pirate, that one of the first reveals. Super dope. He's kind of got like a drudge gun and then a mechanized blade. Oh gosh, look at that detail. Oh, dude. Oh my gosh, it shows it embedded in his arm. Ugh, golly, that is detailed. Oh, it's straight up like showing it embedded in his flesh. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so this guy, I think that's what Leafit was asking, because this guy clearly broke away from the hive mind as an individual. And I think that's where the question came from. And so in Carmine's answer, is fairly, vague, obviously. But his point is, we're going to get to that, right? So clearly there's been some sort of disconnect of Morrow and their hive mind. Not sure if that means they were defeated or if there's just been a lot of upheaval in the way that things operate in the Age of Annihilation. Not really sure, but kind of fun to think about. Something else worth covering is... I didn't know this, but it was confirmed that Valkyrie might not be showing up at all, or for at least a very long time. We got a couple. So Anatar posted here. We got a couple quotes here, just talking about the penguin there at the top and who it was designed by. As we go down here, let's see. Here we go. This is where it's talking about Valkyrie. So Myth is asking, about the different generals, and he says, and Valkyrie, and Carmine says, who? Vecna then posts, I like Valkyrie, but I think who is more of a better just move on at this point. So he kind of he was kind of guessing what Carmine was meaning. And then Carmine says, it's a very thoughtful and protracted conversation this community needs to have, but it's not a discussion for today. One day he's going to have to sit us all down and tell us that our dog died. And then I wish the topic of Valkyrie was that simple. And that was in Carmine responding again. So in further discussions, we see in Carmine, he said, if the answer was simply no more Valkyrie, this response wouldn't make sense. And Carmine says the best solution right now is just to ice the topic until we can get a little further down field with the relaunch. He just holds a ton of complicated baggage with him, asymmetrical lore, licensed units. So that makes a lot of sense, right? Valkyrie only had, I think it was 4 official units. They were all D&D miniatures, and, those D&D expansions are not in the current, plan for the Heroscape reboot, at least not right now. And so we don't really know what their plans were back in the day with Valkyrie. And especially now, how do they handle that going forward? So it sounds like Valkyrie's actually not going to get much love in terms of the reboot, which is I'm a little bit, I don't know. I guess it's fine, right? If he had tons of units, maybe I'd feel differently. But there's only 4 units, so I'm not too worried, I guess. But yeah, Anatar said it right. In other words, no Valkyrie in the initial release. So that's kind of, I didn't realize that, and this is good. I'm glad that there was some discussion on this today, because I was able to share it with you guys. The last little update is Intergalactic Patrick talking about stretch goals. Just saying the hope with stretch goals are that they help us keep excitement up during the campaign period, and they allow us to, as a community, to celebrate the success of the HasLab. We have not marked them as exclusive, that's key, but since we don't know if they will ever be tooled, they are not part of any future plans at this time. If the goals are reached, well, we will have to wait and see if that happens. So, Let's talk about that for a second. So in terms of stretch goals, for those of you that aren't aware, don't really know what that means or is, a stretch goal is basically a way for them to continue to get us excited about spending our money. It's a short way to say it. So basically, when you have a crowdfunding project like this, you basically say, okay, if we raise X amount of dollars as a reward or as a gift to the community, we will include in your offering, we'll include in that base package that you're purchasing this extra miniature or this extra design or what have you, right? And so that's really really exciting for us because we can say, all right, well, sweet, if we raise, $500,000, that's the minimum, right? If we raise 600,000, okay, maybe that's, a stretch goal. If we raise, I don't know what the levels are, but basically you have these different tiers that once you hit them, it's just releasing new designs or more designs or more content for the community. And so what he's saying there is that they're not exclusive. Now, if you've ever been a part of CMON games, right, with any of the games that they do, specifically Zombicide, those are exclusive. Like the stretch goals, the purpose is to say, hey, if you participate in this, crowdfunding project, you're going to get stuff that no one else gets and isn't going to have to go on the market and get. Now he's saying, well, those stretch goals, they aren't going to be exclusive, which is interesting because from what I'm getting there is he's saying they're not going to be exclusive, but we don't have plans to release them later. So what that means is like, as long as we hit the stretch goals, everyone's going to get them. And since they're going to have to produce them for the crowdfunding project anyway, then they will offer them later on, at some point. But if we never hit the stretch goals, it sounds like then they might not release them, or at least they don't currently have a plan to release them, right? So, they have their 2-year schedule of releases, and they're basically saying, okay, if we hit all our stretch goals, everything gets pushed out, everything gets manufactured and sent, and everyone will get it. And then anything that was produced, obviously, will reproduce and sell. Great, awesome, everyone's happy. But it sounds like if we don't hit some of those stretch goals, they won't make some of those stretch goal units available, at least not right away. So that's interesting, and I'm not really sure how many stretch goals they go, right? So for example, there's a limit, right? So you could say, hey, if we raise 500,000, we will do a stretch goal. Okay, if we reach 510,000, here's another stretch goal, right? You can do the intervals as much as you want, as high as you want. So they could create 30 different stretch goals, but we might only get 15, right? Or on the reverse, we could blow it out of the water and get all the stretch goals. So it sounds like they're not really sure how they plan on handling that. I mean, if we blow it out of the water, great. We don't have to worry about anything, in my opinion, other than the fact that they didn't plan enough stretch goals. But if they plan too many, then it sounds like maybe some of those stretch goal units won't be available, at least not right away. So that's how I'm interpreting that. Share your thoughts, see what you guys think. But that's significant. So anyway, in terms of any other updates, I have tried to scour the Discord conversation. I wasn't thinking anything else too standoutish. So let me know if I missed anything. We've got a few days left of updates. Again, 2:15 Eastern on Saturday. Mark your calendars, get your family, friends, get your wallets ready. I mean, it's not going to be just Saturday, right? The campaign's probably going to go for like 30 or 40 days or something like that, to give an opportunity for the word to get out and people to, save a little bit more money still. But everything's going to be released on Saturday. In terms of other announcements, again, tournament scene, I did want to also do a shout out for other tournament scenes. We've got some other local ones in Omaha, as well as Columbia, Missouri. So for those of you in those areas, we're doing tournaments on the 8th in Omaha, and then on the 22nd in Missouri, in Columbia, Missouri. So again, for those of you in those areas or within 3-4 hour driving distance, hit me up if you don't know where to look for the information, and I'll get you connected. Again, great tournament scenes, and there's like 8 other tournament scenes out there that have just blown up since the re-announcement. So I bet most of you are going to have somewhere within driving distance you can go to. So again, just encourage you to get out and support the community, and we've got a couple more days left. Let's ride the hype wave. All right. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.